This is Karen speaking. I'm watching the circle of death. Give us a minute to live stream. Okay, I think we're going. I think we are ready to begin. I see the little spinning wheel though, still appearing on my screen. Voila, there we go. Now it's just shown up on my other monitor. Good, excellent. I would like to introduce our presenter for tonight. I'm very excited to have this individual back once again. We have Tyler Pugeda, P-U-G-E-D-A. Tyler is from the Alzheimer's Association, and we are thrilled that he is here, and I would like to welcome him to our Zoom call. Hold on a moment, Tyler. Let me spotlight you before your presentation. Karen. Okay, I already did it. I didn't realize I had done it. This is Tyler. Thank you so very much. Is it my turn now? Can I go? Okay, thank you so much, Karen, for your lovely introduction. And also thank you, everybody, for giving me, oh, I'm sorry, the pictures on my screen just moved. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to present about the Alzheimer's condition that we have here in the United States, and also to talk a little bit about the risk of Alzheimer's and a little bit about education about Alzheimer's as a disease. I work at the Alzheimer's Association. I want to thank them for making this presentation night happen. Thank you for the interpreters for being here. And thank you so much to everybody providing such great access to everybody. Those of you in the audience, I need to thank you for being here tonight and watching my presentation. Karen, did you want to interrupt me at some point here? Karen says, actually, this is Karen speaking. I should have introduced you as the president, I believe, for the Alzheimer's Association. I'm sorry, I should be introducing the president of the Alzheimer's Association. This is Maggie. Maggie, are you here with us? Maggie Christopherson. The interpreter doesn't know if you pronounced that correctly. There you are, Maggie. Hello. There's Maggie, everybody. Thank you.
Hi,
Maggie,
thank you.
for being here. Go ahead, Maggie.
Oh, I was just going to say we're very glad to be here and thank you so much for letting us join you. And Tyler is going to have a great presentation for everybody. So thank you so much.
This is Tyler. I'm so sorry. Every time somebody jumps on screen, the pictures move. I get a little bit glitchy. Karen says, we're ready. Tyler says, terrific. So, overview of what to do today. I have two different PowerPoints for you. The first PowerPoint is from the Alzheimer's Association. It is general information regarding Alzheimer's. They have given me this PowerPoint to present to you here tonight, hopefully to increase the awareness of Alzheimer's in society. We're also going to talk a little bit about dementia as well. And actually the first PowerPoint is about how we deal with Alzheimer's, what we can do to change our lifestyles, how we can develop better habits within our daily routines to improve our memory and improve our overall health and lower the risk of acquiring Alzheimer's later in life. The second presentation is my own PowerPoint that I did for the deaf community. And I am sure that many of you have thought about the risk of Alzheimer's that you may face in your own personal life. You know, things such as, oh my gosh, can people with Alzheimer's learn sign language? Can they use sign language and so forth? I feel that this topic has not been researched enough, but luckily I have found several pieces of research which have, how do I say, helped me develop, I guess is the best word, a basic curriculum. It's not fully there yet, but I do have a lot of concepts which I will be explaining to you throughout the evening. To begin with, I want to bring up the first PowerPoint. I'm sorry, forgive my unease at the tech here. This is Tyler. Okay. First of all, I want to let you know that if you can't see the PowerPoint, let one of us know. I will be referring to this chart occasionally, and I don't want to ignore it, but I do want to give you the chance to use it or not. Now, can you see the PowerPoint clearly, everybody? If yes or no, or you have any questions, please type it into the chat and give me some feedback about how well you can see the PowerPoint. Okay, this is making sure that you have a healthy living for your brain and your body. The presentation is rather simple with this slide deck. We want to teach you some things of what you can do to improve your general overall health, as well as the things you can do for your brain and your body. We have some activities you can do on an everyday basis to improve, to lower your risk of Alzheimer's as well. If you don't mind, if you see the red dots right here, if you could press on that. Does anybody see the red dots that I'm talking about on the PowerPoint? And Karen is saying, no, I cannot see any red dots on the PowerPoint. Tyler says, oops, okay, sorry. Okay, another technical challenge for us. Okay, well, the PowerPoint will provide various strategies for everybody to help you all change your lifestyle to be more healthy, such as stop smoking, get more sleep, and some day-to-day physical activities that you can do to help you keep your mind and body active, to keep you socially motivated as well as personally motivated to take care of yourself. What we're seeing here is a slide. Hold on just a moment. The deaf interpreters are trying to get Tyler's attention here for an interpreter switch.
Dave, are you ready to switch?
Yep.
So how to control your behavior. Well, sorry, I didn't realize interpreter switch. Karen said, hold on just a second. Okay, you can go ahead. We were just switching interpreters. Oh no, he just went away.
Tyler is saying this slide here talks about the brain.
I don't see him.
This is Dave talking to Janelle. Can you see Tyler?
No.
Okay,
She
please.
did something and he disappeared.
Okay, Dave will take over from here for a moment while you futz with your text.
Yeah.
And Tyler is saying, catching up with Tyler saying, we're talking about the brain. It's a very powerful part of your body and contains over 1 billion nerve cells. And as the signals travel throughout your brain, they can impact not only the brain, but also any damage done to the brain goes down to the cellular level. We have to talk about your heart a minute because there is a heart-brain connection. Your heart and your brain are interrelated. They're interrelated because the blood that your heart pumps goes through the entire body, which includes your brain. And this circulatory system feeds the brain, which in turn affects your heart when it returns to your heart to continue along the circulatory cycle. Alzheimer's. Do you think it's a normal part of aging? Yes or no? Please answer in the chat box by saying true or false to this question you see on the slide.
And Dave, I'm here.
Okay, you want to switch then?
Yeah, but watch because it's hard. Yes, you need to answer true or false. What you believe is true or false. Come on, type in the chat, you guys. Is Alzheimer's a normal part of aging? Put your comments in the chat. I only got 3 people responding. True, just say true or false. Come on, 2 more people. Come on. Got 2 false and 1 true. And last, come on, I got 1 more. So people are saying it's false. Wait, let me back up a minute. Let me show the answer. Yes, it is false. It is not really a normal part of aging. Alzheimer's is not a normal part. It's really kind of a disease. And understanding the age process, and that does, influence Alzheimer's and how your brain processes things, and your brain becomes weaker. And then Alzheimer's can, destroy more brain cells and kind of take over as you age and progress, and the disease then progresses. But not everybody who gets, as they get older, gets Alzheimer's, excuse me. In adults, we grow up and like 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and we, have different experiences that change our body related to aging, just old age stuff. And, your brain sometimes, how you process things starts to slow down. You become more forgetful or think, I don't remember where I put my keys, or I forgot that person's name, and that's just part of the aging process. But I want to clarify 2 different words. There's dementia and there's Alzheimer's. So dementia is really more like a general word related to problems with your thinking, your processing, those kind of things that can have an impact on how you function. If your brain, if dementia is impacting how you process things, then, your body sometimes can get kind of a, special care, like breathing. And then there's a different word, Alzheimer's, and that is more specific. It is a disease, it's an illness, it's caused, it's like dementia, but Alzheimer's is more related to the specific kind of what is happening in your core, in your brain. A lot of people have different kind of problems, sickness, like there can be Parkinson's, that's a disease, or if you're hit by, like, something hits your nervous system that, throws your body off, that's a different disease, or how your body processes things. And he's frozen. Here we go. Okay. And so in the community, where people are still, researching and finding out, they're working on a cure for Alzheimer's, but it's a challenging disease and it's required a lot of research. And there is no cure as of yet, but, we are focusing on what we can do now. And that's related to, how you live your life. And so when you look at your health as a whole, there is, you have your genes, that's your family, what they handed down to you, what you inherited. And then your environmental impact, your environment can impact your health as well. And your lifestyle can have an impact on your health. Sorry, I'm looking at my notes, just a moment. So if your parents, like say your parents, your mom has had Alzheimer's, and she, has the gene, and that could possibly pass down to you. And you have to consider that you may get that illness. They're freezing up. But your family can help, how you make a determination on what you can do to improve your health. Like your environment can have an impact, like the air quality, the people you socialize with. And I will explain more about that later. And then the third item is your lifestyle. That can have an impact. And they're both frozen for me, David.
Okay, great. And we want to make sure that as part of your lifestyle changes, you make changes that are healthy and will only aid you as you grow older. Now, this slide shows different health issues we should be concerned about as we go through life, such as blood pressure, our blood sugar levels, our cholesterol levels, and that is a hard word to spell, I'll tell you. All of these issues add to our overall health. There's a lot of research out there that tells us so many things. Mostly what it tells us is that there are many factors that increase the risk of heart disease and stroke. Now, I'm sorry if I'm using a different sign for stroke, but this is the sign I use for stroke. So what this slide is trying to say is the research is not perfect, but what it is telling us is that there have been findings along this line. And it seems to indicate that your overall health has a direct, how do I want to say this? I think I want to say it this way. By focusing on the individual aspects of your life and parts of your health, you can make dramatic improvements as you grow older. And remember that all of these issues we're talking about, hypertension, diabetes, all of these things are related. Old age affects blood pressure. Blood pressure will give you a risk for stroke. Stroke is involved in Alzheimer's predictions. So everything is connected. The blood vessels in your brain are like any other blood vessel in your body. They are at risk for thinning or rupture. Diabetes is one correlation that has a relationship with Alzheimer's, which means the higher the sugar levels in our bloodstream, the more at risk we may be for acquiring Alzheimer's. And again, there is not a clear correlation, but the science shows that there is some type of connection between the two. So now I would like to ask you all another question. When it comes time to focusing on your health, do you ever think it's too late? Like you've missed the boat and there's no reason that you should focus on your health anymore? Or is it never too early or too late? And I see a lot of people are saying that it's never too early or too late. That is correct. You might feel like, oh gosh, darn it, I should have been really paying attention to my overall health as a young person. This is something I should have done years ago. Well, I'm here to tell you, please don't feel that way. The past is done. That might be true. But if you start looking at your overall health today, you can still be better for tomorrow. Janelle, you there?
Hold on.
This slide shows some strategies that we all can incorporate into our lives for better and more healthy living. What we have on the slide here is get quality sleep, be smoke-free, take care of your mental health, keep moving, eat more healthily, challenge yourself, and stay connected. What we mean by stay connected is have a social life. Sleep is crucial for all of us. You might have times when you don't get enough sleep, or you sleep, kind of restlessly, or you say, oh gosh, I can only, get 5 hours sleep, and then you wake up and you're tired. I mean, our daily lives require energy, and everybody is different. We do acknowledge that. That said, I want to move on to the next slide, which talks about sleep.
Right, Dave.
Sleep, yes, sleep has been thoroughly researched, and the science proves that getting enough sleep helps our overall health. It helps keep our blood pressure under control, our blood sugar under control, and good sleep is essential for all of us. It allows our bodies to fully recover from the day's activity and recharge. You ready, Janelle?
Yes. And when we sleep, it means that you give your body, your whole body, time to like recover and, fix itself and improve itself. Really, it's kind of if we don't get adequate sleep, then it can weaken your heart, it can weaken your body, it can make you gain weight. So I really encourage you to really focus on how much sleep you get and watch your sleep schedule and make sure that you see that you are getting enough sleep for your body to recoup. It's really important, to have that process to make sure you're getting enough sleep. And also it's important for our brain to, biologically, it's simply we need sleep for our brain to, encourage our brain to grow and recover and clean things up. And it's like, what we do all day, your brain's busy all day long. And we're waiting for the interpreters to switch. Just a moment.
This is Dave. Do you want to keep going? Or?
Yes.
Okay.
But they keep glitching on me. So if I stop, jump in.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So for sleep, let me back up. So yes, all day your brain is active and running and, continuously. What?
Our DI is saying, can you hold on just a moment, please? Terry Doctor is saying, are we set to go? Terry
Okay,
said, yeah, I got the all clear.
Yep. All right, we're ready. Oh, sorry again. So all day your brain is running constantly. It's making the way your brain, how it functions and how it's running. And, your brain gets tired, your body gets tired at night. And that impacts how well you sleep. So you need to sleep a lot to get rid of that waste. And after a good sleep, you get up and you feel like your brain is refreshed. You feel like, oh, I can think more clearly now. And that's a good time for us to switch slides. So we're encouraged to get at least 6 hours or more sleep every day. And to have your bedroom and again, I'm frozen. So to have your bedroom, an ideal place to sleep so it won't interrupt your sleep. Like, make sure that your bedroom is peaceful. And you're encouraged to really think about your sleep habits. Like what should you do to improve your quality of sleep?
And this next slide talks to us about tips for getting quality sleep. We encourage everyone, of course, to consult their doctor before making any drastic changes. And by the way, while I'm thinking of it, after we're done with this presentation, this PowerPoint will be sent out to everybody. This slide talks about being smoke-free, of course. Research indicates that smoking can directly impact your brain.
Got it.
Okay.
And it can increase your risk for Alzheimer's or dementia by smoking. Biologically, it's to your benefit, not to smoke. And that would help reduce your risk of stroke or Alzheimer's, dementia, and things that have you been passed down genetically from your family. And if you're an active smoker, then you need to stop smoking. And if you have a really hard habit, and it's hard to quit, I understand, but smoking is a really strong impact on your body and your brain function. And the next slide will show about information about quitting smoking. Really, I know it's hard to quit smoking, but you can ask people to help you. Like if you decide, of course, it's your decision, but if you decide to quit smoking, you can find some support and resources to help you to quit smoking. You can talk to your doctor, or you can join like a quit smoking program. There's a lot of different areas available to you, resources available to help you to quit smoking. And it's good for your brain health too, because your brain, it'll open a whole new world. Well, open a whole new world, but like Americans more and more have found that, being healthy really is a big impact on Alzheimer's, and we have to take care of ourselves. We have to be more responsible for what we do. We take care of kids, we take care of our parents, we, work, we work days, and then we still have other things, other challenges. Your car breaks down or whatever happens in your life that's a challenge. But it's really important how to keep your stress level as managed as possible. Your brain, for brain health issues, anxiety and depression, or mental health concerns, all of these things really can impact your brain and how your brain processes things. And they're frozen.
And we encourage everybody to seek advice from a doctor or healthcare professional if you are facing some of these more serious issues. We're here to help you find out ways to build your resistance to the disease. Research has found that if you exercise on a daily basis, or at least regularly, that you can lower the risk for developing some of these mental health challenges we're talking about.
Okay.
Okay, go.
And it's really important for, but every person needs to focus on yourself. You need to make yourself a priority. You need to do the best you can, best self-care. If you are feeling that you're having a struggle inside, about caring for other people, that, you need to put yourself as a priority. And if you're very busy and your schedule is really crowded, and I would encourage you to take time to really think about it, think about your life, and take time to kind of calm down and realize what your priorities are, what's important. Assess, like in the past, if you've had different situations or different life challenges, you can help your brain by developing strategies to cope with emotional things, to become more tolerant, and it will help to reduce your level of stress, and it will improve your mood. And you take a nap, or go out for a walk. And it's frozen.
Dance, draw, laugh. All of these activities improve your mental well-being. But the most important of all of these is keep physical and keep moving. More research indicates that regular exercise reduces the risk of, the interpret correction, improves overall brain health. And it helps improve your circulation, lower your blood pressure, and allows more oxygen to reach your muscles. And this, of course, gives your cells more energy and better overall health. So let's think about things that can lower our blood pressure or stabilize our blood sugar levels.
Okay.
Okay, go.
Really, like before, we talked about how our heart and our brains are related, and education is a big part of that. As we get older, your heart kind of slows down. It beats a little slower than it did when we were younger. And, when you feel that heartbeat, and I'm frozen. In time, your energy and your exercise, you need to really work on including those and making that a priority in your schedule to make sure you get some exercise in. And it's not easy to find the time to exercise, I know that, but again, you have to for your own health, you need to make that a priority, and you need to be creative to find ways to get in some exercise. And that could be like 20 minutes. Take time, 3, 4, 5 times a week, walk to the grocery store, or play with your dog or your grandkids, or with your dogs and animals. And I'm just saying that, to encourage you to find ways to become physically active so that you feel like, I want to stop my schedule to make that a priority. And yes, more tips, there's more tips about stuff to keep us moving and keep us acting. Walk around your home, and, in your home area, in your neighborhood, use a trampoline, or use the bus. And the bus, sometimes you can, get off at a different exit and walk home from there. And, when you exercise, exercise with a friend, get an exercise buddy. and the food you eat, to make sure that it's healthy. That's really important. And I'm sure that many of you are aware that there's balanced nutrition is important for our bodies. And I'm not saying you have to eat perfectly, that you can never have a cookie. I'm saying you need to eat more greens and you need to eat more, healthy food, things that are better for your body to restore. And before, in the past, before we really realized how your heart and mind was, and eating healthy and all that stuff was related, we'd always thought about our stomachs, that the food breaks down in your stomach, and you have to, that's where it gets the nutrition from the food. As it decomposes in your stomach, then we get that nutrition, which gives us our energy, and it increases our circulation, and our heart pumps hard to get that going through. And as our blood circulates, then the nutrition circulates through our body, and it provides your brain with more healthy energy. And research has shown that a balanced diet can reduce your risk of heart disease, cancer, and many other diseases. And I know sometimes it's challenging, a lot of times we feel like, we don't have enough research about nutrition and brain health, and how to prevent dementia. And it's frozen. There we go. And that that is really important to eat a balanced diet. And I really didn't, it's talking about different dietary approaches, and I didn't know what they meant by some of this, like the Mediterranean diet, and how to eat more plant-based foods and what to eat. And for
The acronym DASH.
thank you, DASH, dietary approaches to stop hypertension, high blood pressure. Hypertension is high blood pressure, and to get adequate nutrition. And some of you may have heard or been aware of that dietary approach does impact hypertension or high blood pressure, or that what you eat is an important part of your overall health. And like 2 examples, online you can see where they'll be able to research and find what is a healthy diet. What should you be doing? Like nuts and beans and low fat meat, chicken. And it's really important to focus on your dietary habits. Limit your sugar.
Terry, doctor saying, hold on for a moment for interpreter switch, please. And Janelle, Dave can take this if you'd like. Terry, doctor is saying, I'm ready to go. Tyler's saying, okay, I'm going to go ahead and move it along a little bit because I wanted to talk about some more things about your diet and healthy eating, which can help your overall health. Here's the slide with some tips on it. There's some creative ways listed here that you can eat better while enjoying your food. For instance, if you usually use butter to cook in, research shows that you can substitute olive oil. There are many different ways, of course, you can improve your overall diet. So these are just some ideas. When it comes to vitamins and supplements, it's very interesting that the World Health Organization, or WHO, did I get the acronym correctly? Yes, that is correct. Okay. And for those of you who don't know, the World Health Organization is the world's leading authority on health-related issues. They're saying that many people buy vitamins and supplements they don't need because not all of these products are beneficial to you. Hold on just a moment. I'm going to change the slide. All right. Now, when we talk about challenging your brain, and I'm going to skip this particular slide, this particular question, and move on to how you can challenge your brain. Challenging your brain can help fight off mental-based diseases. Cognitive engagement is the first challenge that we should all face. What we mean by this is things like doing things that challenge your mind, like a puzzle or a crossword puzzle, Sudoku, or other type of games that are mentally stimulating and creative. When you keep your brain engaged, the neurons within your brain, which means the cells within your brain, if you're not aware of that word, will have more opportunity to become stronger, which in turn reduces the risk of dementia and other mental health issues. If you are involved in these type of cognitive engagement exercises, it helps the blood flow to the brain. And the more blood in your brain, the more oxygen your brain gets, which of course is another risk reducing factor. There are many different ways you can challenge your brain. You can learn another language. You can learn a new hobby. You could learn to do something you've always wanted to do, like ride a motorcycle or dance a certain dance. Dancing is fun. You should learn the tango, for sake of example. I encourage all of you to choose an activity that will make you happy as well as engage your brain. Choose to challenge yourself mentally that gives you something that gives you joy. On this slide, we have more tips for challenging yourself. Karen will include this slide in the slide deck that she sends out to you when I'm done with the presentation. So when it comes to staying connected, what we're talking about is communicating with people, getting along with people, having interpersonal relationships. It's good for your mental health overall. It's good for your physical health. The cognitive engagement has a variety of health benefits, and all of these are factors which impact your brain's health. Many people are, I see something came up on the chat here. Oh, I see. Okay. Thank you, Jim. Well, there is a lot of benefits to staying socially active, and they're outlined on this slide here. Some more ideas are being involved in your community. Volunteering is a good thing to do. Visit your friends, even if it's virtually. The more social activities you have, the better. This slide summarizes what we've just talked about: getting good sleep, don't smoke, take care of your mental health, keep yourself moving, exercise, mental challenges, and so forth. Now, I wanted to move on to talk a little bit more about how the Alzheimer's Association can help. If you need more information or you have some questions regarding Alzheimer's or your risk, you can contact this website or this phone number. Now I'd like to move on to my second PowerPoint of the evening. Tyler, okay. I'm not sure if you can see the PowerPoint. It just seems like it's not going through very well. This is Tyler. Darn, I'm struggling with technology. This is Tyler. I think I've got it. This is Tyler. Okay, could you please let me know if you can see the PowerPoint on your screen? So let me know via the chat if you can see it or not. Karen is saying you can see it. Great, terrific, terrific. This PowerPoint is something I'm very excited to share with you tonight. It contains some research from a variety of sources. I got this from various documents, studies, and case studies, and all of the information has a common theme. They have to do with sign language being good for your brain. Now, some of you might have been wondering how deafness has any effect on dementia, if it does. Well, that's kind of a very challenging question. Because to be honest with you all, the question is more about how you manage your own lifestyle, as you will see on this slide deck. Having said that, I want to just say that what we're talking about now refers to how your brain interacts with its environment. With hearing people, your brain is struggling, with deaf people, your brain is struggling to fill in the gaps of what you are missing by not hearing it. And at times our brain experiences cognitive overload. And that could be considered as a forecursor to dementia. But evidence indicates, as this slide shows, that millions and millions of people between, say, 60-ish and up who are suffering from some degree of hearing loss show that there's a correlation with brain functionality and cognitivity. It's not valid proof, but there are indicators out there that what you are doing today can be changed to enhance fighting off any type of cognitive functionality blockages. Now, as we know, deafness and social isolation can be a precursor to dementia, but it's important for our own mental health that we look at the barriers preventing us from socializing with other people. Now, as we mentioned earlier, smoking is a risk, okay? And so we want to make sure that we look at a variety of factors, not just the deafness. And we'll get into more as we go through the slide deck. I notice there's some questions coming up in the chat box. Could you hold on a moment? Let's talk about hearing aids. They don't prevent dementia, but as you can see by the study, the 8-year study, which isn't, a long time, it was an 18-year study. But what it does show is that people beyond the years of 18 with hearing aids, it can actually help regardless of having early stages of dementia or not. When it comes to cochlear implant, we're not saying that cochlear implants are going to reverse the deafness to make you hearing. It's not. It's not a magic bullet, and it does require practice, and it does require getting used to a new way of living. So we're not really sure how that impacts dementia and other mental health issues. More studies have to be done in this era. But when it comes to sign language and the prevention of dementia using sign language, we do know that it is a benefit. I might be a little biased here, of course, but many deaf people have told me that from learning sign language and being a part of the deaf community, it has drastically improved the quality of their life. They feel that their overall mental health has improved because of the opportunities to socialize using their native language. Being able just to meet people on an everyday basis has helped. What I find really interesting is that in the state of Utah, there was a facility called Silverado Aspen Park. It was a memory care community. And it was full of people who were, seniors, let's just put it that way. They were older people, and they were teaching groups of older hearing folks some sign language. And what they found out was, just a moment, we have an interpreter switch coming up. Janelle, you ready?
Yes.
Okay.
Just a moment for an interpreter switch. Hold on. Okay. And had we really talked about this slide? Let me see the one before. Okay, yes, all right. So to back up a bit, I'm sorry, I had to stop for the interpreter switch. So we're talking about sign language and the benefit of how learning sign language can, help you. That they had an interesting program, and the program really focused on teaching ASL to hearing people, older adults, senior citizens. They had a program, and it was in Silverado, Aspen, and care facility, and it was in the state of Utah. And they were teaching sign language to hearing people to see if that improved, if it was a beneficial, if they, it improved their communication skills, did it improve their memory? And I need to move my chat box. Sorry, it keeps interrupting me. Okay. So they were talking about, learning a new language, how it made people be more engaged and how they were trying to talk to each other. And then ASL has the benefit of adding the physical component to the vocabulary as well. And so there was this man, his name is Paul Nussbaum. Hard to spell it here, Nussbaum, Nussbaum, and he's a doctor, and he was saying how learning ASL could raise your IQ, that it could, he encouraged them to help improve their cognitive processing. And they said that kids who could, it reduced their risk for hearing loss later in life. And I thought, well, that sounds right to me. But again, then I'm biased, but it's more common that for kids who learn, ASL, they tend to learn it before they can speak. That's when children tend to, parents and have encouraged their children to learn ASL. But I'm not talking baby signs. I'm saying they need to really learn the full language. They need to learn ASL. And learning any new language, improves your brain processing, and they can help reduce the, the dementia. And I think that we need to realize, growing up with ASL doesn't mean that you're reducing your risk because it's the same language. You have to feel comfortable in, be aware of vocabulary and grammar and facial expression, and that, like, aha, to get it, you have to feel comfortable in learning this new language to to make you more motivated. And if you do learn a new language, whether it's American Sign Language or British Sign Language or Italian or Korean or whatever, any sign language, that if you learn a new language, a new sign language, that is challenging for your brain because it's not the language you grew up using. And it can therefore reduce your chances of having dementia. And again, it's talking about we need to improve, access to health services. We need to reduce the barriers. If we think in ASL, and we need to teach people about dementia and what they can do to improve their health and improve, how we can get them to care about themselves and take care of themselves, make themselves a priority. Like interpreters, why, they speak and hear the language at the same time. It also increases the risk of dementia because, if you don't have access things that are improving your habits, the risk of dementia, is greater. So we need to be, if we don't have full access to information, then I think we are more at risk. You need to be aware. You need to look for different signs and different things that can show you that, oh, maybe I am starting down that slippery slope to dementia. And so, you don't want to put it off. You want to get diagnosed and not put off that diagnosis and wait too long. And so we're encouraging deaf people to take, a role and be active part of their healthcare. And so the last slide is, we can take the PowerPoint off now. Okay. But thank you so much. Thank you for listening, for being an attentive audience. Wow. Karen says, first of all, I'm Karen, and I identify myself first. And I think, wow, that is amazing. That is so much information. And I do have one important question that I do for, about Alzheimer's agency. I need to get each of you that are here tonight to get your first and last name plus your zip code, because the Alzheimer's agency collects data for their presentations. And, by having your name and your zip code, it's still confidential. They're not going to share your information. So please, in the chat, put down your name and first and last name plus your zip code. All right. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. And then secondly, I really want all of you to be more aware of, and thank Tyler for his goal to become a doctor. He's wanting to become a doctor. And Tyler, thank you for, giving this information about what we can do to decrease our risk. We really appreciate it. Do you want me to explain about my background and how I'm involved? Well, what made you research about Alzheimer's? What was your incentive to, to have that desire to learn about that? Tell us a little bit more about yourself, and and we can look forward to watching you become a doctor. That's amazing. So go ahead, Tyler. Well, really? And they're all frozen. Okay, well, I kept hearing more and more in the beginning, more and more conversations about how our brain processes things, and how, really strange things, how our body, is, how it functions, and, and how to improve our memory, and how to improve our physical health, and how there's such a relationship between our physical body and our brain, and how that we have to make sure it's in sync. And, I want to become a doctor because I think that it would be a good job for me, so I could be able to pass information on and knowledge on to my patients and to the deaf community, and to help them develop strategies to improve their health. And also I wanted to collaborate and, to help them prevent from having diseases. And I think that I found that Alzheimer's was particularly interesting because it's common that people aren't really aware that it is a disease, and science is showing more and more and finding out more information about Alzheimer's. And I feel that we will be involved in the greater community as people commit to Alzheimer's research and care. Yeah, and I'm involved in research. And then I want to take more time to do research specifically about Alzheimer's, and maybe do an internship in Germany, because Alzheimer's, the German doctor was the one who found the disease. And he, and it's really common in Germany. A lot of people there who are German, it's more related than just them being German, but a lot of them have Alzheimer's. So I want to go there. I was really impressed with the research of that area and what the German people are experiencing. And so they're being very creative and trying to find ways to improve Alzheimer's and to help the community. And so I think that research is really important to increase everybody's health care. And I want to really focus more on that kind of research and, becoming a doctor and what we can do to improve our health. And I want to help the deaf community, of course, because it's really important that we really focus on the community and community engagement. And a lot of information that, in the brain that we need to learn about ourselves and take care of ourselves. And deaf people need to have that same access. They need to be provided the same information. And so we need to be able to pass on that knowledge and and get it more in the system and the healthcare system as a whole, because it is a problem, for deaf people to have access to that system. So we're wanting to include more deaf people in the things that we are researching and learning. And Karen is saying, wow, I think that's amazing. And it's so interesting. And a deaf doctor, right on. Thank you so much for sharing the information with us. It's a wealth of information, and our time is pretty much out. But I wanted to take the opportunity, if we have any pressing questions, if someone wants to raise their hand and ask a question. And Deborah, I'll spotlight you, Deborah. Just a moment. Okay, go ahead, Deborah. Hi, Tyler. My name is Deborah, and I'm deafblind. And you had mentioned about the deaf community, but I'm curious, if you've done research about the deaf-blind community, having the double disability and the double, losing two of their senses. And Tyler's saying, yeah, that's a good point. Wow. Honestly, unfortunately, the research community is more focused on deaf as a whole. They haven't really veered off into the deaf-blind community a whole lot, but there's just not enough research out there in general. I'm trying to find more research related to deafness and deaf blindness. So far, I haven't found any related to deaf blindness. But as the stuff grows and as they focus more on deaf people, then I think they will include some deaf blind people in their research as well. And it sounds like there hasn't been any research done, about tactile signing as well. And I think, that's a new language. And so how deaf-blind people socialize, it's more challenging for the deaf-blind community. I think they would be more at risk for Alzheimer's. So I think it is important that they socialize.
And Karen is saying it's time for an interpreter switch. So Janelle.
Thank you.
Karen is asking, is everybody ready? Okay, Deborah, take it away. Deborah says, I have a second question for you. My mother got dementia several years ago, and I have 5 sisters. Okay, and one has cancer, but 4 of them had dementia. And now when you talked about genetics, it raised a flag. Okay, because now I'm kind of concerned that, I'm falling victim to it as well. Tyler. Well, we don't know, because obviously if we have somebody who, is having trouble in another way, like can't breathe or can't move or whatever, we know that it has an impact on overall health. But the best way to get more knowledge about genetics and how it affects you specifically is to go for genetic tests. Also, you can join the group for 23andMe. It has a lot of people who know a lot about genes and hereditary issues. Also, to educate yourself on some signs and signals. Now, you said that your mother had Alzheimer's and it was genetic. Is that what you implied? I think it's more likely that Alzheimer's could be passed along because of the hereditary issues. That is correct. However, let's not jump the gun. I suggest you speak to your medical healthcare provider. Deborah, I did take a test a while ago and I'm waiting. It's called, I think it was called a pre-dementia test or something like that. I believe I'm okay now and I'm feeling fine now. I'm just trying to, I don't know, think of ways to stimulate my brain, like you said, playing mental games, mentally challenging myself, and so forth. I just need to work more along those lines to keep my brain healthy. I just thought I'd take this opportunity to ask, so thank you for your time. Okay, Karen Philo House, you had a question, I believe. Karen Philo House is saying, well, Jennifer was next. Karen, oh, I'm sorry, Jenny, I'm sorry. You just turned on your video, right? And you had a question? This is Jenny. Can you see me? Karen says it's very dark, but I think we can give it a shot. Jenny says, hold on, let me get a light. Can you see me better? Karen says, a little bit better. Sure, go ahead. This is Jenny. I have a question about, well, first of all, about dementia. I know that there's a correlation between dementia and Alzheimer's. Does dementia lead to Alzheimer's? And Tyler says, oh, is that your sign for dementia? Okay, thank you. I wanted to clarify the question. Jenny, so which comes first or second? Is there a correlation between the two or what? Tyler says, well, we know some causes for dementia, okay? But when it comes to Alzheimer's, we know that Alzheimer's usually leads to dementia. Okay, we also know stroke can cause Alzheimer's and a variety of other diseases as well. Dementia is a very general term and means a lot of different things. Jenny, oh, okay. I do know that there's a lot of older people who are having problems with their body, you know, as we age. And so when we look at people who are, you know, getting up there in age, like the 70s and 80s, we see that they do have a lot of physical problems, right? It can be very hard to exercise and get out and do these things. You understand what I mean? Because what we do today is very different than what we do when we're older. Tyler says, yes, that's very true. But one thing I want to put out there is, you know, a lot of other people's strategies for taking care of themselves is going to be different than yours. So you have to think of your own environment, what you can do, what you want to do, what type of things will help you the best, and work on those strategies. Don't worry about what you can't do, but worry about what you can do. Karen says, thank you, Jenny. You can turn off your camera now. And then I think our next question comes from Jennifer. Jennifer, you there? Tyler. Hi, Jennifer. Jennifer says, hello. Hello, everybody. My name is Jennifer Hummel. My mother, well, actually, first my father had some dementia. And he got it first. And then my mother came down with Alzheimer's. So I had both of my parents affected by these diseases. So what's going to happen to me? Do you have any suspicions? Or do you think maybe it's going to bypass me and go into a next generation? Tyler says, well, I can't talk too much about the genes specifically. I strongly encourage you to ask that question to your healthcare provider. Now, your mother and your father both had issues. One had dementia, one had Alzheimer's, right? Jennifer, yes. Tyler, okay. I thought that's what you said. The issue here that we're talking about is that we have some things that we can't avoid in our lives. What we can do is lessen its effects and delay its effects. So if you were to come down with one of these diseases, you can stave off the effects and maybe even lessen them by using some of the strategies that I talked about during this presentation. Does that make sense? Jennifer, okay, thank you. Tyler, you're welcome. Karen. Felix, do you have a question? Felix, hello everybody, my name is Felix. And I work with somebody, a caregiver, okay? As a caregiver, sorry. And I have learned through other people that dementia, I mean, is a huge word that has a lot of different meanings. There's actually 4 different categories of dementia. There's Alzheimer's, okay, which comes under dementia. There's body, Janelle, help. There's also,
Can't see him.
okay. There was also vascular dementia. And vascular dementia is really what we're talking about when we address breathing and lessening stroke possibilities and get out there and doing exercising on a daily basis. My point here is that dementia is a big word, okay? And it doesn't mean one thing. It means a variety of things. Tyler says, yes, that's true. I want to go back to what you said with vascular. That has more to do with the blood, because vascular is talking about the blood that goes to your brain. Felix says, yes, because we're talking about exercising, which means not isolating yourself, not sitting back in your couch all day, but get more oxygen to the brain cells. Tyler says, right, exactly. And that will help, as you said. When it comes to Alzheimer's, we're talking about cognitive functioning. And so that's why we want you to challenge yourself on a mental level, because research shows that if you're highly enthused about playing these games or mental games, we can actually stave off the effects of Alzheimer's. But yes, you are right about it being the 4 categories. Felix is right. That's all I wanted to make, is that be careful what you say, because dementia is a big word meaning different things. Her father has one form of dementia, but somebody else could have another kind of dementia. One size does not fit all. There is a woman I know whose mother is deaf, she's a coda, who has vascular dementia, and she tends to isolate herself. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with everybody. Thank you very much for the presentation. Thank you for taking my question. Have a good night. Karen says, thank you, Felix. Karen. Okay, Heidi, I think you're next. Could you turn on your camera, Heidi? And I'll spotlight you. This is Heidi. Hello, everybody. Heidi speaking. What about language deprivation? I mean, unable to communicate with a deaf baby, we know has language delays as a result. So this type of language deprivation, what is the correlation between that and dementia and Alzheimer's? And Tyler says, good question. We can't really answer for sure, because there's not a lot of research in the area. I'm guessing here. If a baby is deprived of a language, what this is going to do is it's going to provide cognitive challenges to that child. And it will also impact your social opportunities. And what we've noticed is people who have language deprivation early in life always struggle socially as well. They tend to isolate themselves. They tend to be not aware of lifestyle activities such as eating more healthily, getting daily exercise, and so forth. So what I'm trying to say with this is people with language deprivation are probably going to have to take more of an effort to pay attention to their own physical well-being and take extra strides to make sure they reduce the risk of Alzheimer's. But doing things such as learning a new language and so forth can help offset that. And we know that there is a benefit there. Heidi says, great, thank you so much. Tyler says, I'm sorry I don't have better news for you, but you know, that's just the way it is. Heidi says, yes, I understand, but thank you for answering my question. Karen says, thank you, Heidi. Karen. Okay, I'm looking at the time. We only have about 3 minutes left. And I just got a message in chat that apparently some of you have not yet provided your name and your zip code to the Alzheimer's Association. And if someone in your room with you who has been sharing this presentation would be so kind, we'd like to ask them to put their name and zip code down as well, because we want to keep track of everybody who has seen this presentation. Okay, Dana, I'm talking to you, and I assure you any of this information is confidential. Okay, we're going to be giving some information to Jim House, who's going to keep data records for us. Okay, seeing no more questions, I got to say that's a perfect thing because our time is up. It's been wonderful to have you, Tyler, for the past hour and a half. I certainly wish you the best of luck on your journey into becoming a very famous, world-renowned doctor. Tyler says, thank you so much. Karen says, thank you, everybody. Thank you so much. And thank you to the Alzheimer's Association for all the work and effort that you put into being here tonight. I encourage you to do more research about deaf individuals and Alzheimer, as well as, like what Deborah said, don't forget the deafblind community as well. We could definitely use more research into that community as well, because we have a lot of deafblind people here in Seattle. Because, of course, of the services that we provide in Seattle. So we definitely need to research these individuals and have numbers. Okay, I guess we can go ahead and open our videos now and say thank you to Tyler. Everybody give Tyler a big old wave. Thank you. There you go. There it is, Tyler. Everybody wishing you thanks. And thank you to our sign language interpreters as well. Thank you to our DIs. And thank you to our captioner who's out there captioning. Oh, the cat. Hello, Jennifer's cat. Say hi to Jennifer's cat.